Hey, this is Meredith's husband. I've got some SEO advice for you, but I'm going to keep it really simple so that you can understand it, so it makes sense, and most importantly, so you can actually use it. Do you do New Year's resolutions?
No, I do not.
Me neither.
I hate them. I think they're stupid. Why?
They seem, I don't want to say they're all stupid, but it seems like if you're going to just make up your mind to do something like every day for an entire year, it's not something you already do. There's no way that you're going to follow through with that. That seems impossible.
The only way you're going to follow through is if you take it slowly and slowly create habits. There's this whole podcast about, how to establish habits. And I think that's all great.
Yes.
But what I don't like is the starting January 1st, I'm going to work out 7 hours every day. I'm going to lose 75 pounds on the first week. I'm only going to eat things like sugar.
So what about the people listening who just said that?
Well,
they made that resolution.
Good for them. And what usually happens is like 4 days they do it. And it's just like, oh, it's awesome. And
pace yourself.
And then it's rainy.
Mm-hmm.
Or
and
they don't
go
feel well. Or whatever the case, they have a meeting to go, whatever it is. Then they don't go that one day. Guess what happens usually?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. The gyms are always full in January. Pretty empty in February.
When I used to go, when I used to go to the gym like 5 days a week, all us gym rats knew that stay away from the gym January through the second week of February, and then things will be back to, quote, normal.
Right. You know what I did do this year, though?
What?
Is on New Year's, or shortly after New Year's, maybe, I thought back about last year and what did I do last year? Like, what did I learn last year that I think, or what did I do or start to do that worked really well that I can improve and do more of this year?
Oh, yeah.
Just kind of like you were saying, a trend, like building habits. What is a habit? What is a habit? Because I played with habit building last year and tracking habits and things like that. But I thought back, so what's one that was really good that I want to continue doing?
Meditating.
No, that's not the one I thought of.
Walking.
Nope. It was the one.
Getting dresses for your wife.
No, that wasn't the one either. It was the one about spending. So scheduling is something I really kind of put an effort into last year. Yeah. And I feel like made a really big difference. Yeah. And in particular, it was the whole notion, I know I've mentioned this before, of spending time like money. So if there's something I want to do or something I want to achieve or whatever, often you think, oh, well, how much money would I spend on that? I try to do the same thing with like my hours during the day. Like for the stuff I want to achieve, I want to say, well, I want to spend an hour on this a week or, and I dedicate it that way rather than saying to myself, I want to achieve this milestone. Right. Or I want to finish this project because you never know how long it's going to take. It always takes longer than you think.
And then you think, oh, I'm almost there. And then you realize you're missing this one thing. And to get this one thing, it happens to take 4 gazillion hours.
So anyway, along those lines, I thought maybe we should do something, not a resolution, but kind of put together what I would do if I were just starting SEO from scratch, what I would do for a year.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, because also the questions I've been getting are more like, hey, what do I do for SEO? Like, period, everything. Like, what is it? Like, it's pretty comprehensive. It's not things like, how do I write title tags? It's not specific. Like I can give a simple answer. It's more comprehensive. Like, what do I do? And what do I need? What do I need to?
Heck is it? How do I get started?
What do I need to keep doing? Like, if I've done this, what do I need to keep doing? Because it is a process. And like you said, you want to build habits. And I think looking at it and saying, oh, if I were starting from scratch and I were going to plan out this year, what would I do?
That's a great idea.
So with that in mind, this is what I would do. I broke it down into seasons because I figure months is probably a little too specific. Some of these are kind of malleable.
Seasons gives people a reason for the
Plus there's
season.
Songs about it. People have written songs about
and
seasons.
Treason.
Yeah.
And I'm freezing.
So this is, I would say you could.
That's called
this
a
doesn't
soft rhyme.
Yeah, thank you. Can I continue?
Okay.
Should I
Cleaning,
keep going?
Seasoning. Okay, yes. Meaning to the seasoning.
Should I go to the bathroom or like get a coffee?
No, I'm good. I'm good. I just needed that last one.
So this like what I'm going to lay out, this doesn't need to be a year. You could certainly condense this into 6 months or 3 months. If I were to do, or when I do coaching programs, this would be what I'm going to cover would basically be a 12-week coaching program.
Okay. 12 weeks is a good, solid amount.
But if you want to space, like if you're only going to spend an hour a month on, doing this stuff, then you can spread it out. The goal, like you said, is to build a habit and get into a rhythm. Yeah. Because SEO, it's not, like I've said many times, it doesn't happen overnight. No. It's not something you sit down and do once and it's done tomorrow. It's
sadly no.
So with that in mind, starting from scratch, what would I do with the remaining portion of winter? Yeah. Which I guess would be this January, February.
Yeah.
I would just make sure that I have my Google tools in place. So my Google Analytics, my Google Search Console, my Google Business Profile.
This is where SEMrush comes in?
Nope, not yet.
Okay.
SEMrush is in the spring.
Oh, that's nice.
But I would make sure in particular that I have my Google Business Profile in place, because one thing I would do throughout the year is I would try to get 1 review per month. Oh. So you know how people leave reviews on Google and you get a star rating. Yeah. Try to build those sort of consistently, because a lot of people say, oh, I need reviews, and they go out and they try to build a whole bunch. Well, that looks spammy. That seems suspicious.
Because everything is, the first week in March.
How much better if you were like shopping if you're looking for a photographer and you found one on Google and say you found 2 of them and they both had 5-star reviews average. So really good, right? But one of them had all their reviews in January and one of them had one every month.
Yeah, one every month.
Which one would look better? Yeah.
One every month.
Also, Google is kind of sometimes on the lookout. If you don't have any reviews and then they suddenly spike, it can sometimes backfire on you. They can think that they are spam and get rid of them.
Oh, ouch. All that hard work.
So the other thing I would do in the winter, before the winter is over, is I would look at I would look at my competitors. Essentially, pretend like I am a potential client of my own, and I would go online looking. And I would be looking for websites that appear high in Google.
Right.
So regardless of what I'm searching for.
I was just going to say, are there specific search terms?
No, like you would search for children's photographer, family photographer, Brooklyn, and you would just look for this, do a few searches. There's no exact right way to do this. Just pretend you're looking for one and do some searches. And the sites that come up at the top are going to be the competitors that you want to pay attention to.
Okay.
Because you're going to want to look to see what they're doing, to be on top.
How do you know what they're doing?
Well, hey, let's wait until spring. Have a little patience.
I don't have any patience. I can find some somewhere hidden in the couch cushions.
So I would say find like a handful of competitors that are doing what you do and also ranking well in Google, and pay attention to 2 things. One, look at their blogs, see what they're blogging about. No reason in particular, just kind of be aware of, check them out, see what they're doing. And we're going to use that a little bit later.
Okay.
And then pay attention to their CTAs, their calls to action, their buttons.
The buttons.
Right. And pay attention to your instinct. Which ones make you want to click on them?
Oh.
This is a very subtle sort of.
Kind of primal.
Yeah, a little bit. But what you want to do. Thanks.
You tell I'm inspired by the animals today. Sorry.
But what you want to do is because one of the first things that we're going to want to do with your site is we're going to probably want to improve your CTAs. Because what I see a lot of is people have 8 different types of calls to action. You can book a Zoom session with me. We can schedule via calendar. You can do a call. You can send an email. You can fill out my contact form. You can do this thing, that thing. Right. And I understand the impulse. You want to give people options. Yeah. But you really don't. You just want to give them one option. I think that you will notice if you're looking at your competitors and you're trying to kind of identify the ones that look good to you, the ones that you want to click, the ones that make you be like, oh, I want to do that.
I'd like them to photograph my family. Yes. Because it's actually good for photographers to have other photographers photograph their family.
Probably, yeah.
I know. And we've been trying to do it, and then COVID happened, and then our dog died.
Oh, great. Our dog died. Let's throw that into the
But we have new ones that we rescued, and they're wonderful.
Yes.
You love them.
Our dog had a fantastic life.
He had his name was Chaplin. Yeah. Little ode to Chaplin. Right. Chaplin had a magnificent, extraordinary life where he could not have been more loved. Yeah.
I often joke that, what is the Dalai Lama? Is that Buddhism?
Yeah.
Well, whatever so you gain up karma during your life. And if you gather up good karma, you come back and you get a better life as a result. Yeah. And you keep doing that over and over. And eventually you'll come back as the Dalai Lama once you've built up all this amazing karma. I joke that after that lifetime, after you have built up so much good karma that you come back as the Dalai Lama, next you come back as Meredith's dog. That's what a good life Meredith's dogs have.
I try and give my little beings.
Anyway, back to my to my 2023 plan.
Let's go back on, find the map. Oh, we found it and we're back. Believe it or not, I am not high today.
Yet. Yeah. So I bet that if you are looking at calls to action, the ones that are going to appeal they're going to have one call to action probably throughout the site. It's going to be like, do this. Now they might also have a contact form on their contact page, that's fine. That can be your call to action.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be. Like, that's a pretty standard page to have on a website. Right. But you want to figure out what your call to action is. What do you want your potential clients to do? How do you want them to contact you? That should be your call to action. That's what the action you want to get them to take. The minute you start giving them 8 different options is also the minute that they probably won't take any of them.
I know. Why is
they don't know what to do.
Did they say you're supposed to give somebody 1 or 3 options or 2 options? And no more than 3.
Yeah, just try to minimize. I mean, it depends on exactly what you're offering and et cetera, et cetera. But don't give people a bunch of choices. Yeah.
Don't give them a bunch of choices.
Is that what I said?
Yeah, you said don't give people a bunch of choices. Was that choices and options?
Choices. Don't give them a bunch of choices.
Now, let me tell you, people, don't give people a bunch of choices.
Okay, can we make our way back to our podcast?
Okay. You're going to do a lot of editing to this one. Don't give them any options.
So don't give them one option. Okay. Just don't give them a bunch of options thinking that you're making their life easier, because then they got to decide.
Right.
They do have to deal with analysis paralysis. Yes. Decisions are tough. Don't make people make decisions. Okay, so that's the winter. All right.
Okay.
Your Google tools, make sure they're installed. Try to start with a habit of getting 1 review per month.
Yeah. Post it
to Google. And then as we move into spring, now is when we're going to want to do our SEMrush stuff.
That's right.
So this is our on-site audit. Yes. We've talked about audit. All the topics I'm talking about here, we've done episodes on.
Yes.
So you do your SEMrush audit. You get your site cleaned up so you have a nice high score.
Yes.
And then also in the spring, you want to figure out what your keywords are.
Yes.
And so you put those on the site.
Yes.
And you put them in the appropriate places, like we did in our that 3-episode series we did on keyword research.
That's right. I remember doing it.
So that's the spring. Get your site basically optimized. That is optimizing your site, doing the audit and then finding your keywords and placing your keywords. That's what people think of as optimizing their website.
Oh.
So then in the summer, I would move into link building.
Yes.
And I would start, if you're a photographer, I'm assuming you have a local service area, you service clients in and around New York City. Now you have a few elsewhere.
Yeah.
But basically you service New York. So that's your service area. So you would do local link building for that. We talked about that in one of the episodes. It was local citations with Whitespark. Nope, not blogs.
Nope, not
yet. Do the local links. Also think about some other ways you can get links. So like vendors and partners. So I used to do this way back when I built websites, obviously. When you go to a website, at the very bottom, it says website by such and such.
Yes.
That's the website developer placing a link to their site. It's SEO. SEO was one of the reasons behind that. It's why SEO developers or I'm sorry, website developers do that.
Oh.
Getting links back to their site is good for SEO.
Sure.
Then in the fall, I would move to a little more advanced type of link building.
Because you're ready.
Yeah. I mean, once you get the local link building is easy to do.
Right.
You still need to do it.
Yeah.
It's a requirement. It's not difficult though. But once you've done it,
at all,
you can't. Once it's done.
How about you can't eat a piece of paper once it's chewed and swallowed and digested?
Well, that is accurate. Yeah. I don't know if it's a great saying.
How about you can't uncook a cookie?
How about this? Once you've built your local links, you don't. No, that's not good either. Once you've built your local links, you don't need to build them again. You can't keep building them. There's once they're done, they're done.
Right.
So you can move on to
cooked,
a different.
Cooked.
Yes.
Once the cookie is cooked.
Good. And we have to talk about food.
I'm hungry.
So I would begin looking. Remember when we chose your competitors? Or we looked at competitors?
We looked at competitors.
In the winter.
That would be in the winter, yes.
In the winter. It was one of the first things we did.
You and I were doing it. Okay, we're back in this time. Okay,
yeah. So now you want to look at those websites. Remember the ones that are
that
offering the same thing and they're doing well. We want to see what websites link to those guys.
A's.
CTAs.
Yeah, where are they?
Yeah, where are they getting their links?
Gals.
So that you can figure out using SEMrush.
Oh, okay. That's when the SEMrush comes in.
Yeah, SEMrush again.
Again. That's where it comes in again.
Then in the fall, I would also start your blogging. Remember, we also looked at the competitors to see what type of stuff they were blogging about.
Or
and I would,
otherwise known as resourcing.
Yeah, kind of. Building resource links.
Building
resource blogs. Yes.
Yeah. See, I do listen every so once in a while.
Mm-hmm. And then in the first part of the winter, at the end of the year, I would try to start to do some sort of outreach. So this I think we haven't talked about.
Yeah.
And this is probably a little more advanced, which is why it's at the end of the year. It's kind of the final step.
Yeah, we got to get to it.
But what it is, once you use SEMrush to figure out where your competitors are getting their best links, you want to reach out to those websites and offer them
the same ones.
You want to reach out to the websites who are linking to your competitors.
Yeah.
And say, hey, what about me? And now you want to do it in a little more subtle fashion. But basically you want to say, oh, hey, look at this resource I have for your readers. Now, this is often going to be links from like another blog to your blog.
But would that take that away from the first blog? And then when you get it, it's somehow watered down? Because they've shared it more than once?
What do you mean? No.
So let's say photographer A has a link called quartz. Mm-hmm. We're just going to call the link quartz. So if we then wrote to the quartz site and said, hey, link to me too, does the quartz lose the link? Does it lose its value because it's been diluted because more than one?
No, it's a different. I mean, so the quartz site.
Or should we find?
The quartz site is going to link to your competitor. They might also link to you.
Okay. Or should we find our own places that would provide?
Well, you want to do that too, but this is kind of a shortcut.
Is that sneaky?
No, this is public information. There is a tool in SEMrush called the backlink gap tool. And basically what you do is you can take, a handful of your competitors, you take their websites, you put them in, you press go, and it's going to come back and find websites that link to your competitors, but don't link to you. So if you put 4 competitors into your gap link, your gap tool, it's going to come back and say, hey, this website here links to all 4 of your competitors, but it doesn't link to you. So ding, 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 what should you do? You should go get that link. Because that's one reason that those websites are ranking well, is because they have good links. So you want to just, it's kind of like follow the leader.
Join the party.
Yes.
Okay, I understand.
And then this would be probably next year, is then you start going out and finding your own links, your own really valuable links. But you got to start somewhere.
Fair enough. Okay, fair enough. I just wanted to make sure that we wouldn't be hindering our competition.
No, you're not taking anything away from your competitors.
That's what I just want to make sure.
Yes.
Because there's plenty of room at the top, but I just want to make sure it's not that. I know you would never direct anybody into doing sneaky things, but just to me, I fear that it might be a little sneaky, and I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't. I know you don't. That's why I was surprised and mentioned that. I just want to make sure that everybody can be okay.
No, you just want to play the same game that they're playing. You want to have the same advantages that they're having.
Okay. That's fine. But you understand my question.
Yeah. And I have seen, in many years of doing SEO, there are there are deceitful ways of doing all of this stuff.
Yeah, I don't want to do that though.
Yeah, all those methods in the end, they end up getting what you reap what you sow eventually.
Yeah.
That's what I have seen in the long run.
I agree. Well, and even if it doesn't matter that way, that's still the way I want to live my life.
Yes. I think we got to wrap it up.
I talked a lot. I'm sorry. I didn't get out much today.
Yeah, if you want to, be effective with SEO, it's going to be like a practice, like a yoga practice. You can't decide on January 1st that you're going to be a yogi and then learn all of yoga on January 2nd and be a yogi.
And then just be set for life.
Right. So, have some patience. Like I said, you don't need to do this over 12 months. You could do it over 6 months or 3 months. But it is a process. So that's roughly the process. I think in a couple of weeks, I think we should do like the SEO process.
Okay.
A little more like what all these steps are.
Yeah.
A little more in depth. I mean, we don't have it's a 20-minute podcast, so we don't have a ton of time. So look for that episode, probably 1 or 2 after this one.
Okay. I think that's a great idea. Because people do ask me, like, I don't even know where to begin.
Yeah, that's like probably the most common question.
Yep. Yeah. Like, I know I need to do it. But I don't even know where to get started.
Yeah. We'll cover that in a little more detail.
That's great.
Time to go.
Thank you for listening.
Bye-bye.
Hey, thank you so much for listening. We really hope that you find this helpful and useful. And if you do, what you could do for us as a thanks would be to, drumroll please, leave a review. Yes, everybody says it, I know, but it really does make a difference. Take 3 seconds, leave as many stars, say something really nice about what you like about the podcast and maybe why other people would like it. It would mean the world to us, especially my husband. That better? All right, I'm going to try one where I'm not going to be charming.